I have no idea how this is going to work. This is my first time recording on a computer. So I don't really know what's going to happen with this. Well, we're just going to try it out. Maybe upload the video on YouTube. We'll see what happens. It might be a disaster, but then again, like, I'm not exactly the highest quality YouTuber, if you can even call me YouTuber. Anyways, getting into the game, we just started a new game. As you can see, I beat the game already, so I had to say no to the New Game Plus option. So now we are in Jinsokyo, in the human village down the main street. It's currently 9 in the morning, but usually around this time that people are most busy and the village gets more and more active. But, Marissa, lately this place has felt empty. Is this supposed to be the main street? I think everyone's too scared to leave their house. Oh well, it's fine, right? We can just eat dumplings sitting on the storefront. It's just so few people. Yeah, since we're a bit early for the meeting time, we can do that while waiting. Dumplings they make here are really delicious. I know, right? We should eat them quickly before the others get here. The meat point was a dumpling shop facing the village's main street, and so the two girls ate without a care in the world as they waited for the others. The rainy season was at its end, and the blistering heat was flickering as early summer season began. Yet the main street was buffet. Is that an English word? I have no idea. It means empty. I know that from context. It is buffet of residents and their liveliness. The whole village was wrapped in a chilling atmosphere unbefitting of the current season. The atmosphere is fine with me, better than the heat at least. Yep, the summer looks like it's going to be pretty cool this year. I won't have to go cool myself down at Cordon's place. You treat your house like a storeroom and barely give it any ventilation. That's why it's so hot in there. Even through the forest, it helps block the sun rays. That's a sense. Yeah, something like that could be bad. But it's refreshing. It's cool and peaceful. Peace is good. Anyway says so. Does this village really look peaceful to you? We have Kaine. I don't know how you pronounce it. I pronounce it Kinan, but that's obviously completely incorrect. I won't pronounce the name anymore. Kamishirasawa. I don't know. Anyways, back to Ringer. Oh hello, there's still some time before our appointment. Look at that. Nothing else could scream incident more than that. It's frightening everyone. You need to do something about it quickly. An incident? What do you mean? I can't see anything at all. Anyways, one more dumpling, please. Of course you're not going to see it while your eyes are glued to the fruit down there. Look, I'm telling what you cannot see. No thanks, I'm fine. The dumplings I have in my mouth might get stuck in my throat. Just shut up and look. She grabbed Marissa's dumpling stuffed face and forced her to look up. I'm glad that we have a main character who's like one of the only characters in the series I can't pronounce the name of. With her face forcefully lifted up, Marissa could see an out-of-this-world massive tree calmly rooted in the distance. An outlandish towering tree was piercing through the clouds, its leaves and branches growing outwards in order to create a maze of levels. The great tree's size was so ridiculous that anyone who raised their head even slightly couldn't help but see it. The tree had suddenly appeared in Jinsokyo around 3 days ago. It appeared suddenly in the forest of magic, with no clues as to the cause. Even now it continues to grow slowly but surely, obscuring the daylight into Jinsokyo and creating an ever-growing curtain of darkness. Do you see it now? I got it already, thank you very much. A big tree like that isn't something to laugh at, but hey, when you're looking at something that big, you really can't help but thinking about human life, right? You aren't even bothered by it. It would be fine if it just disappeared in a day or two, but it's not likely something that massive would simply disappear if we leave it alone. Villagers are starting to get frightened by that tree. Furthermore, such a large obstacle to the light will eventually have detrimental effect on the hearts of the yokai living in the village. Don't you think? It's also bad for the growth of plants. In fact, a portion of crops and flowers that were planted in the fields in the village's outskirts have already begun to wither away. It is not difficult to imagine if we leave the trees alone, things are only going to get worse. Ain't it good though? We get a cool sunlight-free summer in return, and you can take the opportunity to mass-produce bean sprouts. This girl. Yeah, Marissa's a bit, thick-headed, I guess, sometimes. The where Hakutaku set up an elementary school in the human village took anything that would threaten its peace very seriously. That's Tommy that's the person I can't pronounce the name of. That's the where Hakutaku. So she raged on about how are we going to find the cause of this great tree today, and maybe Marissa were forcefully dragged into it. Well, I was also saying to myself, it's about time to investigate that great tree. The timing is perfect, I would say. Is that so, Ramu? Haven't you been poking your nose into the thieving uproar that happened at Corinne's place recently? Are you done with that already? Of course not. There's no way we can leave something as ridiculous as the Ame no Murakumo, yeah, that's correct, being stolen alone, don't you agree? But no matter how I looked at and searched for the criminal, they didn't leave a single trace. Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Let's see, Korindo, was it? The thief broke into the antique store? What is that in the Ame no Murakumo about? This is all news to me. I should probably give an explanation for that. Rinosuke Morichika, a half-human, half-yokai hybrid who runs an antique shop located at the border of the Force of Magic. He was the last of the four for this meeting. Oh my, Rinosuke. Pretty late. The last to show up, in fact. No, I'm right on time. One should be neither too early nor too late for any appointment. Being late is obviously out of the question, while being early makes the other person worry too much about whether they should have come early too. Yes, your opinions really matter to us. So what are you saying about a thief? It is as they say, a thief broke into my shop. As you may know, my shop sells items that came here from the outside world. There are also some other small and rare articles that are not for sale that I keep for my personal collection. The value of the Ame no Murakumo that was stolen around a week ago really stood out from the rest. The great tree grew just a few days ago, and the theft happened just before that. But we don't know that Rinosuke had such a thing in his possession, and if it is true, there's no way we can leave such an artifact alone. Ame no Murakumo. Huh? Wait, the Ame no Murakumo? No, wait a minute, are you sure it's the authentic one? This isn't time to talk about its value. This is the most famous and powerful sword in Japanese lore. First of all, how are you able to get an artifact like that? It's the first time I've heard about a relic like this being in Sokyo. Wasn't this heirloom enshrined and worshipped somewhere in the outside world? Oh, she didn't know about it after all? Me too. I'm really interested to hear about how you found that sort of thing, Corinne. Trade secrets. Oh, I know how I found it. I can't possibly say where I found it, especially not to Marissa, since I kind of tricked her into giving it to me. Well, no, it's not really tricking Marissa, since she didn't know it was the Ame no Murakumo. Didn't he have it in the first game of the series, the Labyrinth of Touhou, the original? Okay. In the first place, I'm the one who wants to know where she discovered that. Once in a while, her hobby of accumulating trash pulls up some unbelievable treasures. That's how I was able to get it off her hands for dirt cheap. Whether or not that sword is the genuine Ame no Murakumo handed down from ancient times, it was definitely made of pure scarlet gold, and it was undoubtedly an extremely powerful sword. Of that I'm certain. After hearing that story, I started to look over the Ame no Murakumo and its thief, but up until now the culprit remains at large. I see. So while you're searching for your thief, that great tree sprouted forth and caused me a big uproar. That's how it is. Incidentally, Remy also mentioned that she had a feeling the culprit was in that great tree. Really? Well, Remy's intuition is generally right these times. Well, I can't leave the tree alone anyways, right? So, figured since she was being annoying enough to call this meeting as well, that that it was time to investigate that great tree and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and that's how we decided to include Corin in our exploration of that great tree. After all, it's his fault for keeping quiet about the sword, not securing it well enough. It's clearly the thief who's at fault, and I am the victim here. And really, I'm not even suited for fighting. That's certainly expecting nothing from you in battle, but this strength in numbers when wandering around a big tree like that, don't you think? In short, he's making up the numbers. You don't have to declare that to everyone, you beasts. Ugh, I'm not wanting to go. And so, let's all give this our best. Onwards and upwards. Oh. Alright, okay, we are finally into the game after more exposition than we'll ever be in the game. So you know what we gotta do? More exposition. Aha, with a tree that big, I was warning its roots or leaves might trash up the shrine. Seems like there wasn't much to worry about though. Donation box empty as always, nothing out of the ordinary at all. Well then, when this kind of abnormal situation happens, donating to the shrine is hardly high on anyone's list of immediate priorities. Really? Is that really the only reason? What are you trying to say? Nothing really. Anyways, why are we here at the shrine? Do we have something here? No, not really anything to do here at the moment. We should come back after we exterminate monsters within the tree and accumulate experience. Then we can level up and distribute bonus points obtained here from leveling up to say Surrender 1. Also, you can use special items that you can find in the tree. It's a place for level up points and bonus point distributions. Well, thank you so much for the explanations. Well, I am a main character. It's expected for me to do this. So what? I'm a main character too. Shall we stop this line of conversation? Alright, so, to me explaining, yeah. So, EXP, you can level up whenever you want. You can level up however much you want. You can level down as well. So, say I accumulate like 10 million EXP. That's actually not that much. That gets you to like level 80 or something. I don't know. And so, I could use like half of it and level up to level 50, and then I could level down and gain all of the stuff that I used back. We'll get special items later. Those can like level up your stats, teach you new abilities. Level unification turns everyone to the same level. You can do that to do challenge level bosses, which is to level down to a certain level, which is like the challenge level for the boss. I don't know how to describe it. This place is always super moldy every time I come here. I figured you would be coming anytime now. Oh, that voice is? It's me. It's my library, so it shouldn't be a surprise, right? Incidents don't get much more obvious than that. So I figured it was about time the firefighters in the circle started to act. If you know about it, then just help us somehow already, like giving us some ancient spell books or strong magic items. We'd welcome those with open arms. You really don't beat around the bush, do you? Oh really? Well, fine, let's see. I'll raise your stats for you. Oh, that's good. Go right ahead. Make it one big stat. You said I'd do it for free. Honestly, I'm not taking your money for nothing either. This kind of thing requires a lot of items and medicines. I'm just charging you some materials. So, basically, we pay money to get even stronger. Yes, indeed. So, earn all you can. Keep the money coming if you would. We'll get more to that later. But right now, actually, we start off with 100 gold. Nice. You can level up stats here. It requires a Tome of Reincarnation to get your money back, but honestly, you can get money pretty easily in this game. So while you will probably run out, sometimes you can all just go grind and get more. Grinding's really easy in this game. So you can level up, obviously, your speed, mind, which is like special defense. It reduces damage from magic attacks. Your magic, which increases damage from magic attacks. Defense, attack, and HP. Those should all be self-explanatory. Next up, you have the elements, in which every attack has a certain element, and if you have an elemental resistance, you can reduce the damage from those elements. So, as you can see with Ramu here, she has a 180 spear resistance, meaning spear attacks will do a lot less damage to her. While she only has 66 mystic defense, so she's weak to mystic. It'll appear against like bosses and enemies red if it's like effective, and blue if it's not very effective, and then just white if it's normally effective. So if maybe you were hit by a mystic attack, it would appear red because it's very effective versus her, whereas a spear attack would appear blue. Skill reset resets all your skill points, brings back Sons of Awakening once we get to those. And you can also use Tomes of Reincarnation to get back your special items that you used, as well as the money from stat-ups. So, back in the village again, as I thought villagers here are more restless than usual. Of course, you two are the only ones here who can remain calm, or rather be excited about the situation at all. Most people aren't that strong. And we're the type of humans who solve these incidents, the way the world works, well, if you think about it. But anyways, it's been a long while since I've been able to take a casual walk around the village. It sure has changed a lot everywhere. We walked around the outskirts for quite a bit, but there's still lots of food and lodging facilities around here. A long time from you is probably several decades ago. Really, you half your kind your lifespans. She realized it. Well, whatever you say, looking from the looks of the village, there really are lodging facilities popping up everywhere. Yeah, with this kind of obvious incident going on, there won't be anyone who would be taking a faraway trip or anything. What about it? From what I've heard, there are lots of humans in Yokai that have entered the tree. Just gonna kind of skip through this. We need a place for a party, so we can put all that party here. Alright. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, you can pick up new members, deposit members by pressing A is the default. You have to have one member in the party to leave. But you can switch around members at any time. But for now, I'm just gonna switch them in here. I'll get to the menu in a minute. Also, you can unequip items, which you can do when you equip them. But it's really easy, like, I use it a lot for when I switch characters. I don't want to go unequip all their items, because I just switch them all out, put them in storage, and then just unequip them all at once with a single button press, instead of going into the menu and unequipping them all one by one. You can favorite parties here. Not very good in my opinion, because each individual boss will require a very specific party. Once you get, like, even just 2 hours into the game, the bosses start getting so hard that you need set of parties. Anyways, oh gosh, there's a lot of exposition. At least we have Nitori. Everyone loves Nitori. Welcome! Marissa, you got a paper fan? I don't have one. There's none for sale either. Guess this eventual had to do. Are these stats null for trying to greet my customers courteously? The human village sure is a scary place. Relax, these are the only humans who do something like that, so relax. This is surprising, I've never even heard of a capital workshop in the village before. Of course, I started the shop just now with the fun-looking tree popping up out of nowhere. There must be a lot of humans exploring it. For those who are not used to fighting, they'll flock to my workshop and search for all sorts of goods. How about that? Have a clan, right? They've heard a clan. Except there aren't a lot of humans exploring that tree. You're kidding, right? It's obvious that Remy and Marissa aren't exactly normal humans. I'm just gonna, like, speed read this, or, like, do it very briefly. Or just skip it. Sorry if you wanted to read that. I really want to get through this very quickly-ish. Alright, here you can see some of the equipment. All we have right now is stuff that'll level up our stats by 12%. For this, we have Miko board, maximum 3 TP, HP recovery up, MP, and TP. We'll get to that when we get to stats. Alright, the school. Okay, sorry. But, okay, so here at the school you can view enemies, which allows you to see what they drop. So if you want to know where to get rare items, you can always look at here for what enemies drop what. Here's all the achievements. There's some easy ones, like play the game, get defeated for the first time, get defeated 12 times, this one we will do fairly quickly. You get something very, very, very extremely overpowered at the very beginning of the game for doing this, so if you do this like immediately, then you can just breeze through the beginning of the game, so I won't do it. Okay. Great tree. No exposition. Finally, Aku's house. Excuse me? Okay, yeah, we're coming in. Just talking. Make a record of exploration. And we get a treasure chest key. Okay, yay. And then they make some jokes about how no one. Let's see. 49. Okay. There we go. Making jokes about no one knows why the keys disappear when they're used, because it's illogical. Whoa, 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 whoa! Am I actually on New Game Plus, or did they just like super buff? I will be like right back. Give me 1 second. Actually, you guys can see what I'm doing on my main account real quick. Okay, apparently this was always a thing, and I never knew that. So yeah, people have skills, and Rinosuke has high boost, which means he can increase all his stats greatly. I don't know what that means, but it costs 4 extra points over everything else, so it has to be pretty good. Motivated hard and hands-on experience both increase experience, so it's good for grinding. You can level up your active skills. For him, he has a raise all stats by very little bit. Restores a little tiny bit of HP and cures poison and tear. It's not that great. It's a terrible move, honestly. You can reduce magic. That's pretty nice. You can reduce attack. That's also very nice. Let's use on frontline damage against other enemies. Increases. This bonus does not stack similar effects. Oh, wow. So he's just a jack of all trades. This increases damage against all enemies, no matter what their type. Form change, we'll get to that in the next episode probably. It sets action bar. We'll talk about that next episode. Increases money drop rate. Increases item drop rate. I need to use this guy for when I'm grinding. I completely forgot that he existed. Alright, so to get to whatever. A really good defense boost. A really good attack boost for both stats. On both of them. A decent spell. That's spirit type, as you can see. It's all enemies. Another one that's dark type. And this one has a special effect of, as I mentioned, magic is reduced by mind, but this one instead hits enemy defense, means it's reduced by defense and completely ignores mind. All members receive more EXP, increased mind every single turn. When damaged by an ability, both the defensive stats increase. Form change, they get 1 MP. Well, I'll talk about that later. And then, of course, more stat boosts. Okay, so Reimu, a much better defense boost. A spear attack that's very good. Wait, sorry, that's this one. A heal that's decent. It can be good sometimes. Spear attack that's pretty good. And has a paralyze effect. That's really good. Good damage up against yokai. As I mentioned, Rinosuke has the damage up against anything. This is just damage up against yokai. When the user on front line, damage taken is reduced. That's really good later on. And for basically any boss that deals spirit damage. When the user is KO'd, they restore 50 times the level of the ability to all the frontliners. So at level 1, if you put 5 points in, it recovers half of the HP of everyone on the front line. If you put both points in, whenever Raimi is KO'd, all of your frontliners will be restored back to full HP. At the end of the battle, chance to restore 1 MP, depending on how many skill points, from 33 to 99, even if you're on the back line. We'll get to frontline backline later. Concentrate, we'll get to that later, but it increases damage. And if another party member is KO'd, every single stat will be increased. That includes accuracy and evasion, stats that cannot be increased by pretty much anything else. A strong magic buff to yourself. A attack that costs more MP than our maximum MP currently, but it always consumes all MP and it hits really hard. It's Mystic and it hits all enemies. We'll be using that a lot early, before Marissa obviously becomes useless about like 2 hours into the game. We'll talk more about how good the characters are later. A Mystic attack that's basically mini Master Spark. A Mystic attack that's basically mini Asteroid Belt that hits only one target. Mystic damage is increased, that's actually decent. Speeds up recovery from debuff and ailments. Actually not that great, but somewhat useful. Variance for damage is increased, but the expected damage is increased. So basically, it's a damage up, but the random number generator decides whether or not you rolled a 20,100 or a 19,800. That's a variance of like 300. It's increased, so it's like a variance of like 500 instead, but overall your damage is probably going to hit on the high end. That's the best explanation I can give. Okay, so there's a lot of text, but basically it decreases all, whenever you attack, it ignores quite a bit of elemental resistance. If there are more than 5 KO characters, upon each turn Marissa acts, she recovers MP and gets a big buff, up to 20% to all stats. We'll talk about Alice later on. Alright, as I mentioned, you can form change at any time, if in dungeons or not. Learning skills is only out of dungeons. You can only rest in dungeons, which we'll talk about later. Options. Dungeon effects, basically like special effects of like leaves blowing or something. Text speed, brightness, shading, visual effects, sound effects, volumes, background music volume. And you can also go back to title. So items, you have your main equipments, sub-equipments, materials, and special items. We have treasure chests here. Of course, we have 3 sub-equipment items and 1 main equipment, but we don't have any of those yet. Here you can check status for stats, such as the HP recovery rate, which is, when you don't recover HP normally, you have to receive a heal, but if you have a higher HP recovery rate, the heal is more effective on you. Also, we'll talk about concentrate, but when you concentrate, you get MP back. And the better your MP recovery rate, the more MP you get back with concentrate. So that's your ailment resistances, and which I didn't mention before. So if you have higher ailment resistances, like how Reimu has 75 to death, which means she's less likely to be hit with death than Marissa. So if a multi-hit moves hits both Marissa and Reimu, Marissa is more likely to actually suffer from the death status, which of course is instant death. So we've spent long enough on this episode, like 30 minutes almost, 27 minutes. So I think I'll cut it here. Maybe I'll make the episodes longer, maybe I won't. But anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.